Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
Nze omubejjalu wedde Lilian mbaniriza maka gaffe amajja era nga wano tugenda okuba nga tukolera programu yaffe emanyiddwa nga The Voltage gaba masannyalaze gennyini era nga twogera ku bintu ebyenjawulo omwo nno mwe muli ebigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga, ensonga z'ebyobufuzi n'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga Uganda, twogera ku nsonga ez'abavubuka, eddembe ly'obuntu awamu n'ebyenkulaakulana. Togisubwa buli lunaku olwokutaano eba ssaawa emu ey'akawungeezi paka ssaawa 3 ez'ekiro.
The Diaspora Link buli lwakuna ssaawa 11 paka ssaawa 1 ey'olweggulo ye program gye tukuleetedde wano ku Alternative Digital Uganda. Tugenda batutunulira embeera z'Abannayuganda, baganda baffe, bannyinaffe zibawangaaliramu mu mawanga ag'ebunaayira. Bangi banyigirizibwa, bangi bakosebwa, bangi bayisiddwamu amaaso. Naye tugenda batutunulira engeri gye tusobola okulongosaamu embeera zaabwe. Tugenda kuba tulaba abo abakwatibwako abateekeddwa okuba nga balongoosa embeera zino eno. Tosubwa buli lwakuna n'omuweerezaawo Nixon Segawa.
Hello everyone, my name is Abddala Tiff and I welcome you to the Hotline show here at the Alternative Dig Talk as we discuss issues of national importance. Join us every Monday 7 to 9 p.m. and see who will be occupying these seats here with us. Keep it Dig Talk, real issues, real talk.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Good evening to you, our lovely viewers. We thank you again for joining us this evening. It is the Hotline show every Monday where we discuss issues happening in the country. We discuss about our politics. We discuss about so many things that we believe will make a contribution to changing our society, Uganda. Wherever you're watching from, I salute you and I thank you for always tuning in. My name is Abddala Tiff here at the Dig Talk House. With the program Hotline, and in the studios, of course, I have colleagues who have joined me and will be discussing a number of things, rotating about our politics, looking at the multi-party dispensation. We all know that in the year 2005, on the 28th day of July, Uganda as a country went for a referendum that changed the political narrative from a one-party system to a multi-party dispensation. Before that, each and every Ugandan, regardless of your political beliefs, we all belong to the NRM system because the laws in time could not allow any other political grouping to be established within the country until there is the first referendum that took place in 2000, in the year 2000. And of course, Ugandans rejected that. They're like, no, we should keep within the single party system. And then again in 2005, on 28th day of July, there was another referendum whereby Ugandans took a decision. They're like, yes, it is time that we have political dispensation whereby each and every individual has a right to subscribe to a single or particular group politically. And this has been the norm since 2005 to date. After that referendum, we saw many political groupings coming into existence. Actually, besides the Uganda People's Congress and the Democratic Party, all other parties, they had to, were established. That is when we saw the coming of the Forum for Democratic Change. We saw the Justice Forum coming up. We saw Conservative Party. We saw SDP and many other political parties that came into force. Our discussion tonight, we want to rotate about the political party, multi-party dispensation in Uganda. Much as Ugandans took a decision that yes, it is time we go into a multi-party dispensation, a lot of things seem not to have changed. When you go to the local government, the way things are done, it is almost the same way how things were done when every Ugandan was by default a member of the National Resistance Movement. My name is Abddala Tiff once again, and it's a pleasure. I have been joined by Mr. Katumba Gerald. Katumba Gerald is a political activist and a senior journalist, of course. He has seen a lot, and during his time as a journalist, of course, there were so many intimidations that came along, and we may not dwell into that for today. But Mr. Katumba, please say hi to the viewers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abddala Tiff. Good evening, viewers, wherever you are, those who are in Uganda and in diaspora. I want to appreciate the fact that so many Ugandans, you have stood firm fighting for change in our country. There is a lot that is going on in our country, basically on the side of politics, as you say. But this time, not like the previous elections that we had since 2001, this time at least Ugandans have shown something different, actually. We have participated actively in the affairs of our country. If you compare the elections in 2001, 2006, 2011, and 2016. Yes. This time in 2021, 2020-21, it was actually different. And we had a good number of young people participating in politics, which is good. And it shows that the years to come, Uganda is going to change politically, actually. Okay. I want to appreciate you, Abddala Tiff, and the team for this wonderful work you are doing. Thank you. Today, the online media is now the voice of Ugandans. Very true. The voice of Ugandans. There is a lot that is going on in the country, which our colleagues cannot actually even talk about, as you know. Yes. Most of them, they have been compromised. Yeah. But today, the online media, you are doing a very good job, actually.
Thank you so much. Actually, one of our greatest driver is to see that we change the social media narrative. Yeah. Besides people using and occupying the social media space to attack each and every one, to blackmail, to malice, and trade all sorts of propaganda. We're like, no, we can do better than that. We can organize this space and use it to share ideas. We use it to discuss on matters that can change our society, things that can progressively move our country forward. And this is our commitment as the entire team at the Alternative Digital. And we are really committed towards achieving this. And we believe in a very short while, we'll be able to jubilate over that vision that we are yet to achieve. That's wonderful. Well, back to our discussion. Mr. Katumba, you've been actively following our politics.
That is it.
And someone was telling me, no, he should tell us where he has been hiding. Yes, so we all know that one time you were doing those investigative stories. Yeah. And you could actually, you were a source of information to so many people, including me. And I must say you were doing a great job.
Thank you.
And much as the job was great, there are those who could look at it in a different angle. Maybe before we proceed, could you briefly tell us how that journey was?
I could not say it was a tough journey, but just like any other profession, you can't say the journey was so smooth, but it was a journey that I enjoyed so much. I joined the media in 2006, and my ambition was, my ambition was dwelling into investigative journalism, and which I achieved successfully. So since 2006, I have been investigating about different cases in the country, different scenarios in the country.
And also comparing what is happening here to other outside countries.
Here and other outside countries. That is that analytical journalism.
Yeah.
So I wanted to dwell so much in analytical journalism and investigative journalism.
And it's that kind of work that landed you into troubles.
That is
and
it.
I think that's what someone here wanted to know. How did you maneuver?
How did I maneuver that?
Yes.
Yeah, it was 2002. 2020. That is when I started getting some bit of threats from those who were not actually we are threatened by
the work you were doing.
The work I was doing. But I insisted because I was doing my job.
And the right thing.
And I was doing the right thing. But it was 2021 in February. That is when the situation worsened. And actually
they forced you out of the country.
Yeah, I survived 2 times to be kidnapped. One time at around Mengo, then the second time at my home in Chitende. And when I survived the second time, because I was beaten, and I had some complications, and I could not go to any hospital within the country because I was scared. So I had to move out for my dear life, and so that I can get also treatment, specialized treatment, which I received. So my colleagues and my friends, my fellow Ugandans, mostly in diaspora, gave me a helping hand.
They stood with you.
They stood with me for a period of time. All that time that I've been outside, they stood with me, and until I decided to come back.
Well, we are glad that you're now in the country and also doing what you do best to ensure that maybe Uganda
that one I will not change. I will not change.
Well, we are glad you have also been joined by the party spokesperson for JEEMA, Mr. Kyamundu Ssentongo. Mr. Kyamundu, please, you could say a word to our viewers, and I'm very sure they're excited to hear about your voice.
Good evening, viewers. I'm happy to be here for the first time. I want to greet our viewers in the name of the Almighty God. I commiserate with those that have gotten problems, and happy for those that have got good things during the past weeks and days. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for hosting me.
It's a pleasure having you, Mr. Kyamundu Ssentongo. Well, before you came in, we were looking at the journey, Uganda's journey of multi-party dispensation. We all know that on the 27th day of 28th July 2005, Uganda as a country, they went into an election, a referendum, that changed the political setting from one single political party to a multi-party dispensation. And it is through that political parties that were pressure groups, like the Justice Forum, came into existence, into the mainstream, political groupings. But we want to look at this journey. How do you think this journey has been smooth? Do you think Uganda as a country is taking the right, the right trajectory to see that multi-party dispensation is appreciated? And because when you look at the circumstances happening within the country, one would think maybe the system we are in, the officials within the country, they seem to be very much comfortable with the previous kind of setting. I don't know how the two of you look at this. I want to start with you, Mr. Katumba. How do you see Uganda's journey from one single party to, you know, a multi-party dispensation? How would you describe this kind of transition? Do you think Uganda is moving to the right direction? Do you think Uganda as a country was ready for this kind of, you know, arrangement to have multi-party dispensation in the country?
I can say we were ready.
Okay.
We were ready to have a multi-party system in the country. But the most important aspect we should look at, the presence of political parties isn't a problem.
Okay.
The problem, how are they advocating for their work? How are they implementing the policies that they have? How is the situation that they are working in? Because when you look at all the political parties that we are having today in Uganda, almost, I cannot know the real number.
We have 29.
29?
Yes.
Okay. So if you look at all the 29 political parties that we have in Uganda, look at their system, look at their policies, look at how they participate in the elections, how they participate in the politics and in the affairs of the country. And actually look at their voice. Do they have a voice in the affairs of the country?
Okay.
Or we only see the ruling party? There is a problem that most of political parties that we have in Uganda, they were suffocated by the ruling party. So that kind of suffocation doesn't give them a clear room, actually, an open room to fully participate in the affairs of the country.
Okay.
We normally see those political parties during the elections. So it's not only during the elections that political parties should come out or should be actively participate. We need to see political parties active. We need to see political parties influencing our politics, influencing the affairs of the country, even during the times that we don't have elections.
Okay.
But if you look at analytically and the affairs of the country, we always see the ruling party. And we only see the political parties coming in towards the elections. That is a signal that most of them were suffocated.
Well, thank you so much.
Then we should look at the issue of finance. Are they independent? Are they financially independent? If we still have political parties bending down to before the leader or before the president or before the ruling party asking for financial support and assistance.
No. You need to be very clear, Mr. Katumba. Do they ask the ruling party or they ask the government?
They ask the government, but
because
if you look at
under the Political Parties and Organizations Act,
yeah, they are supposed to
political parties have to be
facilitated
by the government, not the ruling party.
But not the ruling party.
Yes.
But if you look at the system that we are having in Uganda today, it's difficult to differentiate between the ruling party and the government.
Well, thank you so much, Mr.
So
Katumba.
that is the challenge we are having.
Thank you so much. I think I need to cross to Mr. Kyamundu. Just to clarify, Uganda has 26 political parties. 26. Maybe I could mention, and I'm very sure there are those that seem not to have ever fronted any single candidate. We have, we call it Activist Party. There is Alliance for National Transformation. There is Congress Service Volunteers Organization, COSEVO. There is Conservative Party. There is Democratic Party. There is Ecological Party of Uganda, Forum for Democratic Change, Forum for Integrity and Leadership, Green Partisan Party, Justice Forum, Liberal Democratic Party, National Convention for Democracy, NCD, National Peasants Party, National Resistance Movement, National Unity Platform, People's Development Party, People's Progressive Party, People's United Movement, PUM, Revolutionary People's Party, Republican Women and Youth Party, Social Democratic Party, Society for Peace and Development, SPD, Uganda Economic Party, Uganda Federal Alliance, Uganda People's Congress, and Uganda Patriotic Movement. Uganda Patriotic Movement was once headed by Mr. Museveni. Well, Mr. Kyamundu, you are US spokesperson of a political party, Justice Forum.
Yes.
And I must say, your party is among those that benefited from the referendum, because it's one of the parties that came into existence after the referendum that was cast in 2005. How has this journey been for you as a political party? Do you think are you moving to the right direction?
Thank you. I think I should first correct you that political parties in Uganda were not brought by the 1995 Constitution. Or they did not start in 2005.
Yes.
Political parties, Uganda got independence under a multi-party dispensation. Then we had around 3 political parties. We had DP, we had UPC.
CP was also there?
No, CP was not
CP was there. They even fronted a candidate in the 1980 elections.
That is 1980. I'm talking about 1962. In 1962, they were not there. There was a party, I think it was Uganda Congress, around, or is it Uganda UFM, something like that. There were around 3 political parties. So in 1966, when Obote overthrew Mutesa as the president and declared Uganda Republic, he established a one-party state, and UPC was the national political party until 1980, when they hosted Amin. Those that sat in Moshi, in the Moshi conference,
yes,
they agreed to a new dispensation that we should go organize a democratic dispensation,
yes, and
then compete under political pluralism. So they again brought back political parties. So in the 1980 elections, there was UPC, there was DP, and then CP came in.
Even UPM was there.
Yeah, and then UPM. So when Museveni captured power, parties ceased to exist. When they made, they were suspended. When they made the 1995 Constitution, the 1995 Constitution recognized the existence of parties, but only said we were under movement system and the political parties could only operate at their headquarters. Yes, they said they will operate on the headquarters.
So by default, everyone was under the movement system.
Yes. So in 2005, it was, actually it wasn't even 2005.
There was a referendum in 2000.
There was a referendum
in 2000, and
yeah, but Dr. Semogerere, yes. But Dr. Semogerere, I remember, he went to the Constitutional Court and challenged the movement political system, and the Constitutional Court declared the movement system null and void. So Mr. Museveni convinced the one of Chegere, they held their referendum to bring what we have today, a semblance of political parties. But political parties in Uganda have got a problem. Those that started at the independence, they were not ideological oriented parties. They were started by students who went and studied in Harvard, who went in those universities. When they came back here, actually they tried to replicate what they studied in those European countries. They tried to replicate them here. So it was not ideological based political parties.
Okay.
Even in 2005, when Mr. Museveni, and by the way, taking you back to 1986, the Musevenis formed the UPM without any ideology, that this is what we want to do with the power. Actually, they only interested themselves in capturing power. Let's get power, let's get rich, let's do this. But they never had an ideology where they are taking the country. So they got the power, they did all sorts of things they wanted, but without an ideology where they anchor the agenda of obtaining power. Even today, let me say 2005. In 2005, most of the political parties that registered in 2005, they were not aiming at building an ideology that will advance leadership in this country. They were bent on how to defeat Museveni, who had started developing political tendencies. So that's why you had people who were following Besigye in the reform agenda, saying now we are FDC. You had those people who were DP, who were following Dr. Semogere, saying for us we are DP. You find someone, up to today, someone will tell you I'm DP because my grandfathers or whatever were DP. But you ask them which programs does DP have for this country, they will tell you we don't have. Up to how we speak currently, the political parties that were formed, we have a new kid on the block, National Unity Platform. National Unity Platform, it was People Power, then People Power metamorphosed into National Unity Platform, and when you hear the leadership explaining why they had to come with an umbrella, that they would have had to have an election symbol. So that required them to get a political party or to get a political symbol and front a presidential candidate and win some seats and defeat the dictatorship of Mr. Museveni. So political parties in Uganda, they are not built on ideologies, save for a few, like Justice Forum and the Kabaka Yeka. Those are ideologically oriented parties. So
you're dismissing all these other political parties. And the 26, actually you're dismissing the 25 political parties we have. Actually, we have 26 and now you're seeing...
Now it's you've said there are some political parties that have never fronted a candidate.
Yes, but they
appear on the book. But those that have fronted, when you ask, you host a leader here of any political grouping. You tell them we want you to take us through your ideology. What is your political ideology? You will speak like 3 words. The following 5 will be Museveni must go, this dictatorship, and that is how political parties have been built in Uganda. Actually, we've never gotten time as a country to think to have political groupings that are ideologically oriented. Because of the dictatorship of Mr. Museveni has stayed on for so long, now people are bent on how to defeat him. And so they are not bent on building ideas that will advance this country.
Mr. Kyamundu, if I could chip in a little bit, don't you think that could be the reason why for 35 years you have failed to unseat Mr. Museveni?
Actually, it's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons. But another thing is Mr. Museveni is a military dictator. He's using the military to stay in power. So winning him by ideologies and whatever might also seem a tall order. But in reality, in Uganda, today, the political parties we have, actually, there might be, amongst those 26, there might be parties built on ideology. When you ask them, they can tell you. But they have not gotten chance to expose their ideologies.
To the public.
To the masses. What we have today, now, whoever comes out and articulates, and people see him as a possible opponent to the dictatorship.
They follow you.
They follow you, not the ideologies.
Well,
I don't think we are still there.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Kyamundu. He is the spokesperson for Justice Forum, which other people prefer calling it JEEMA. Well, I want to cross back to Mr. Katumba. Mr. Kyamundu says that I've just picked one thing that I want to highlight. He says when you look at our politics, it's not built on ideology. Even those few parties that seem to have the ideology, the political environment, has not enabled them to come up and explain their ideology to the public. Now, we have one problem in this country. It's a syndrome. Our politics is built on personalities.
Yeah.
Today, Mr. Katumba, you become a celebrity. The following day, you'll get a following. Mr. Kyamundu, when he looks very good with those glasses, he will get followers.
Yeah.
When I come and I can, impress in whatever way, regardless of my political capacity, I'll get a following. How do you think this country is going to deal with that syndrome of grooming? I must say the word grooming because time and again we have new faces that, that come up and they really have a reasonable number of following. Yes. How do you think as a country we should handle this?
Actually, one of the biggest problems we are having in Uganda, sometimes I refer to these political parties as rebel parties. They are built on ideology that we want to oust Mr. Museveni. We want to unseat Mr. Museveni. We want to unseat the dictator. That is the ideology they have. That is the only agenda they put on
it's
table.
What they have on table.
But when you look at the science of a political party, if you analyze critically, any political party that doesn't have a long-term agenda, an agenda that can go beyond the government in power, that political party cannot actually influence the politics of the country. That is what we have in Uganda today.
Okay.
Whoever comes out, his aim is to oust the dictator. That is all. That is the major aim. That is the major agenda they give us, they have on table. That is why we are having that. We are having that that challenge of individualism, whereby you find an individual actually is more powerful than a political party. And when you talk about let's say like Kano Besigye, automatically you mean FDC. So which means when you talk about any other person in FDC, one will not actually get to know that you are talking about FDC.
Okay.
But when you single out Kano Besigye, automatically they will get to know that you are talking about FDC. When you talk about Honorable Kyagulanyi, automatically they will know that you are talking about NOP, even if you don't mention NOP. But as long as you mention a name of an individual. That is a mess in politics. And that is the ideology we have had since, like my colleague has mentioned, since independence, 1962. Building a political party, but basing on an individual. So what about if that person is not there? Which long-term agenda do you have as a party, apart from taking over power? Because in some countries you find that there are even some political parties that have been there for 50 years and they have never taken power, actually. But they are organized, well organized. They have built the ground. Just like you say, I can single out a political party like a DP here, that when you go in deep in villages, at least you can find someone belonging to DP. Or when you go to, when you talk about UPC, at least someone can say, at least you can get some people belonging to UPC, deep in the villages. They tried to build the ground. But that ideology of individualism, that Mao is DP, without Mao, DP is gone. Without Akena, UPC is gone. Without Besigye, FDC is gone. It's the same thing. It's like a disease. Like even without Museveni, NRM is no more. So that is the challenge we are having, and that is what we have to look into. We have to sit back and we actually change that ideology. But without that, and actually, that one works for a dictator. That is how the dictators survive in power. Turning political parties into individualism. Turning political parties into rebel parties. Whoever comes out is against the government. Whoever comes out is against the president in power. So they don't take time to internalize and make a long-term agenda, how they are going to, in a case they are in power, which program do they have for the country, which is different from those who are in power, the ones you want to oust. So if you ask like Nope today, which longer-term agenda do you have on table? Like you have taken power, you have taken over power, okay, it has happened. Which strategies do you have that can help you to hold power for almost 20 years or 30 years or more than 10 years? It's not all about taking over power. That one is very simple. Ousting someone from power is very simple. But holding power,
managing it?
How to manage that power and how to hold in power for 10 years, 20 years, and more years. As a party, not an individual.
Mr. Katumba, you've mentioned something that the current kind of environment works for the dictator.
Yes.
Are you trying to suggest that the dictator could be having a hand in whatever we are saying today and having such political parties filled up by people who really have no clear agenda for this country?
He might not be having a hand in it, but that is what works for him. And actually, chances are he has a hand in it. That is why most times you see we normally have there is what we call I have forgotten that term, but whenever we are having elections, you may find that we have 10 candidates. Let's say, take an example. We have 10 candidates, but you may find that 8 of them belongs to one party. Indirectly.
Okay.
Yes, indirectly.
So that means
they come from different parties.
But they're all for
one party.
That is the kind of system which happens in North Korea, China.
That is it.
There are those small
those
parties.
Communist,
actually, someone told me even in Rwanda, those parties are there, but they are all owned by. It is actually him to give the go ahead at such and such.
That is it.
Well, I want to ask the same question to Mr. Kyamundu. When you look at reflecting to what Mr. Katumba says, that much as we see these parties, like the 26 parties here, like I said before, I believe that those parties which have never even fronted a councillor for elections. Now, should we say Mr. Museveni has an upper hand in the existence of these so many political parties, besides save for the few?
Actually, majority of those parties belong to Mr. Museveni. He's the one who registered them. Because he will never tell who their leadership is. It's Mr. Museveni who registered those political parties and he uses them at will. Should we say maybe those that are competing with him, one day say we're no longer interested in elections. He will get one of those parties and say, please come and compete. I think that is the aim, but not building strong political parties. I don't think that is in Mr. Museveni's dreams. Having political parties that are strong, that to host him, because even within his political setup, the NRM, he doesn't want challenges. You know, NRM, they attempted to set up a political party like ANC or Chama Cha Mapinduzi. I think that's what they wanted. But Mr. Museveni saw he could get resistance within. Even the semblance of democracy that was in NRM, for instance, that they were electing a secretary general, they were electing leadership. He said, no.
They must be appointed.
They must be appointed. You only elect a chairman. And in every election, he's a sole candidate. Yeah, first he arranges the Anites of this world, he arranges the Sekabanjas. They say, you are our sole candidate. Then he sits some organs. Yes, he convenes some organs of his party and say, you are our sole candidate. So I don't think...
So Mr. even Museveni, those people who come up to say you are our sole candidate, they are stunts.
Of course. Yeah. So Mr. Museveni, who doesn't allow democracy in his own party, you think he can allow it to flourish in the whole of the country? I think that is asking for him too much. And that's why Ugandans should rise up and first defeat Mr. Museveni. That's why Ugandans are concentrated there. So if you're talking political parties, I'm telling you, you cannot invite a chairman, let's say of FDC or NUP or any other party, the chairman LC5, you invite them here, you host them and tell them, what is your policy on agriculture? And they tell you, how do you say education? They don't have such programs. They might have them on paper, but because they are just formalities, you find that the followers cannot articulate their issues, those points. They can't articulate them to the public. The only thing they say, we are opposed to Mr. Museveni, he should go give us the mandate. And the population, because it is tired of him, they'll just follow suit.
Mr. Kyamundu, do you want to say that in our initial discussion here, you said that all political parties and even their followers, they're actually not focused on who has a better ideology, who has a better manifesto, who has a better plan for this country. All they need is to see that Mr. Museveni is no more. So are you also in now agreement with the so many political parties which have no direction actually for this country? But then they should all fight and see that Mr. Museveni is defeated, and then we get into another war for who leads this country.
That is the ideal thing to do for now. For now, that is the ideal thing to do. Because even when you say we are going to the public to explain our programs such that people give us mandates based on the programs we have, you won't find it. You won't be allowed. If you say you're going to Busia to have a lare or even a workshop to educate your cadres about your ideology, the RDC will tell you, no, you're not supposed to be here.
But we have seen such meetings taking place, Mr. Kyamundu.
Which meetings? Where do they take
Meetings
place?
of the same nature.
No way, no way. You've seen political leaders, Dr. Besije, the Honorable Kyagulanyi have been going to radios to explain their programs.
But Kyagulanyi has even been in Masaka of recent.
It was a function. It was a function of the church.
It
was a function of a Catholic church where he was invited.
It was not
his function. It wasn't his function.
Even a few weeks back, you had a convention within the city here, and you did it peacefully.
What are you talking about? By the way, let me tell you.
I saw leaders somewhere.
No, we can see it as colleagues who believe in a certain ideology. By the way, to plan how we disseminate that information, even amidst the resistance from Mr. Museveni, you can sit and say, how do we go to Chiriandongo? How do we do this? You do it a rebel way, not because that you will be allowed to go and assemble people somewhere. You start to explain to them how you want this country to look like. That cannot happen in Museveni's Uganda. The ideal thing to do now is focusing on defeating Mr. Museveni, who is failing these processes. Maybe in the end, people can get freedom. That's why, by the way, for us who believe in non-violence, we say we have to do it in a non-violent way. Because when you use violence, you know, people, when they use violence, they tend to have a sense of entitlement. That we shed blood for this thing. It is ours. So everything they do, they think they are doing favors to the population. That's why we say through non-violent means, we can sensitize people slowly. We can do those things you're calling workshops inside the hotels, where even police doesn't know. But we are trying to disseminate the information such that maybe the public can rise up and first defeat the junta, then we shall democratize.
And actually, in addition to what my colleague is talking about, some of those workshops and meetings you are talking about, they are just stunts for Mr. Museveni.
No.
They are just
the
stage money.
It's like no, Mr. Katumba. The meeting I'm talking about, JEEMA, either last week or the other week, they had an engagement. Well, it was internal.
But remember, what happened? What happened when they organized the meeting? You remember when they were going to launch the red card? What happened? Because they had organized that JEEMA headquarters. What happened?
Actually, police.
But it happened.
No, it happened amidst resistance. But police, the deployed policemen were more than the attendees of the function.
Well, Mr. Katumba, no. For guiding our viewers, especially average Ugandans who really struggle and they would wish to see a better country, better than what we have today. Of course, the task is a bit bulk for the political actors to convince these Ugandans that, see, look, we need to change the status quo, the political status quo. Things must change. There are many people out there who actually don't see the need to change the political status quo. Those people are there. And the biggest population of those, those struggling Ugandans. It is very difficult for you who are on the political front line to convince those people that there is need to change the politics of this country. How are you ready to do this? Because now you want to, whatever way, whoever is leading, what you need is to see Mr. Museveni down. Isn't that more trouble for this country?
Actually, that is, some of us, we are looking ahead of that. Our policies and what we are saying, it's far beyond Museveni out of power. Because today, actually, Museveni is no longer a problem to Uganda. Today, yes.
Okay.
Museveni is not a problem today. It is that bad system. It is that bad system.
Instituted by Mr. Museveni.
Instituted by Mr. Museveni for coming close to 40 years now. Clearing that bad system. Instituting actually a workable system that will change the country. It won't be an easy job. It's high time we look beyond ousting Museveni out of power. Because for him, it is very simple. He can just wake up and say, okay, you want me out of power, I'm out of power.
Gerald, how is that possible?
It can be possible.
Because you've made attempts for 35 years. Mr. Museveni is still the president.
It can be possible.
He can even pass away. He can just
So, but him not being in power, him not being in that seat, is it enough for Uganda? Really? You see how he has killed all the institutions. You see how he has
killed them to keep himself in power.
That is it. So we have to revive all the institutions.
So that means
you think it is an easy job. We have to revive the parliament or the legislature. We have to revive the judiciary and even the executive. All those institutions were killed.
And so how are you doing that?
So
we need that practical intervention. What is that you're doing to ensure that by the way, even Ugandans are getting fed up of you.
Yeah, but today, there is nothing that you can do when Museveni is still in power.
So what do we do? What should the country do?
We have had actually policies and the system since 2001, and we have tried so much to see that we achieve change. in the country. We have been using a policy, a non-violent policy, which is constitutional, participating in elections. Museveni has clearly showed us that we cannot achieve anything through that constitutional
so
policy.
You abrogate the constitution?
Sometimes you have to. In order to change the country, you have to. Just like he did.
That means you want to take Museveni's path that he took to unseat the regime of the time.
It cannot be the exact path he took.
Okay.
Yes. But if we have tried, like this is now the fourth time, 2001, 2006, 2011, 2016, and 2021, we have tried the same system, a constitutional system, and we have achieved nothing totally. He has been defeated several times.
Could it be that Museveni is still a darling to so many Ugandans?
Even within his own party, actually even within his own family, he's no longer darling. Yes, he's no longer darling.
Okay.
So, but what we are experiencing in Uganda today is what we call clinging in power. However much he claims that they vote for him every term, but like even if he doesn't come back, do you think we cannot go for elections if you retire peacefully? So that means there will be another person who will win.
Well, Mr. Katumba, I want to, first of all, I appreciate your courage to speak on this. I mean, it's the political landscape we are in. I have known you as a very strong supporter of Mr. Kyagulanyi, if I am not wrong. Maybe it is because of that dire need to see change happening as early as yesterday.
That is
and much as there have been these attempts, do you think, this goes to Mr. Kyamundu, do you think an ordinary Ugandan is fully convinced that it is time for Mr. Museveni to pack and go back to Rwakitara?
I think that time came long time ago. Ugandans opposed the lifting of term limits. They spoke in bold terms, and Mr. Museveni had to bribe his way. He had to bribe the MPs. But Ugandans were patient. They said, let's wait for the 75 age limit.
That was also sold out.
Maybe he will go. That was sold out with around 200 M. Others were given 500 millions. So
and then ones went with 30
Ugandans are fed up. Museveni got the goodwill he wanted. He came here, he said he was going to lead Uganda for 4 years. Ugandans said nothing. After 4 years, he said, let me make a constitution. They said, move on. He got all the goodwill. He never faced any resistance. But in 2005, when he attempted to remove the term limits, he faced the resistance. Today, by the way, the Uganda People's Defense Forces, you could hardly see a UPDF office on the streets of Kampala. They would say,
before 2005.
Abasirikali bali mu barracks. Today, wherever you move, it is police everywhere. Mr. Museveni is recruiting even LDUs, recruiting all manners of gunmen to keep him in power. That wasn't the case when Mr. Museveni was still a darling. So there is no question, Mr. Museveni is not a darling at all. He's a dictator. And Mr. Museveni would not utter statements like, I'm working for myself. Today he can come out and say openly, because he knows people are not supporting him. So he's telling them off, like he said, when you want to know that someone is not happy with you, he will tell you, you won't know that someone is not happy with you until he tells you, go and eat your mother's something. So Mr. Museveni is telling Ugandans to go and eat their mother's something. Because he knows they don't love him, they hate him. That is the thing.
Well, it is the Hotline show. It's indeed hot because we always have such gentlemen who share their opinions with us. They always delve into the matters happening in the country. We believe everyone has a responsibility to make a contribution to this country to make it better. But what is worrying is that much as there is a high anticipation for, change in leadership, there are so many people who are still worried that maybe we could change the political status quo and things, change for the worse. We've had in some countries, like if you go to, I happen to have visited Zimbabwe some 2 years back, I think. Just a few months after Mugabe was overthrown. There was Mnangagwa, and people are like, I think Mnangagwa was much better. I mean, Mugabe was much better than this. So there are those Ugandans who are a bit skeptical, like, well, yes, we need this change, but is it that change we really deserve? Or it is another change which is worse, worse than that of Museveni? Like if you remember when Mr. Museveni was coming, he said, Africa's problem is not about, Africa's problem is it's those leaders who overstay in power. And he has actually done the same thing. The Baganda say, well, so that is what is happening now. So,
he amended that. He said leaders who overstay in power without people's mandate. Yeah. He amended it.
Yes.
Actually, what he meant, for us, we didn't actually internalize about that, but what he meant was a fundamental change for his family and himself, not the fundamental change for the entire country.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, and everyone watching us from wherever you are. We want to break off briefly, and then we'll be coming back, and then we continue with the discussion.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Jembadde itaita nsanza abasajja nga bagamba lwaki bala batukula Farida lwaki mukula abasajja
omusajja baba tebamukudde asanyuka busanyusi n'akuwa ssente kati bw'alaba nga tafunye kyayagala n'alowooza mbu wamukudde aba yazikuwadde oba tewamukudde.
Okay, Lydian, lwaki mwagala abasajja abakulu?
Nabo batwagala naye fetubagala lwakuba tubategekera future.
Okay, tutegekera future. What you say? For more insightful topics, yes, keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. Remember, Snap Talk airs every Saturday, right from 6 to 7, with your girl Teddy Tenjo. But I never come alone. I come with the 2 beautiful girls. Meanwhile, we have a new home. I'm super excited. What do you think of our new home, Farida?
I love it.
We just love everything.
Yes, let's keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Well, it is the second hour of the show, and it's the Hotline here at the Dig Talk House every Monday. Well, I still have the 2 gentlemen in studios. That is Mr. Kyamundu Ssentongo, the spokesperson for Justice Forum, and then Mr. Katumba Gerald. He is a political activist and a journalist, that analytical journalist. Well, of late, there is a new kid, another kid. Of course, we had a new kid on block, and now we have the newest kid on the block. That is the PFT. When we went for the elections in 2000, actually this very year in January, there were so many expectations from Ugandans. Many politicians were promising every Ugandan that, well, this time Museveni is no more. And well, there are those who really believe that, yes, for this time, Mr. Museveni is going. And after the elections, the political environment went silent. It seemed like everything is okay. Actually, if you visited Uganda within that time, you could think everything is okay. All the political actors went silent. And many people thought maybe people are comfortable with the political status quo. And then of late, we saw, he's among them. We saw Dr. Chiza Besigye. They gathered at Justice Forum, JEEMA Party in Mengo. With I saw some guys from Mr. Mukaku. Mr. Mukaku is, I don't know which party.
DP Block. DP
Block, well. Then I saw Mr. Mavike and I saw Kaija, FDC, JEEMA, SDP, a number of them. I'm like, well, it is time we need to introduce something new. We need to bring all political actors on board and see how we move forward and see how we create an environment which is so uncomfortable for Mr. Museveni. Well, the idea sounded good to those who embraced it, but it wasn't to other members. We have seen, you see, UPC is divided. Yeah. We have the UPC of Akena and then the other UPC. So there is one UPC is part of the PFT, another UPC is not. Of course, CP is part. There is a Democratic Party. Officially, I would say the DP is not part of it. But there is DP Block. I don't know the difference. Maybe I will need to be educated on that. And of course, JEEMA. Then everyone expected that maybe National Unity Platform, being the leading party, the leading opposition party, would take actually a central role in this. Unfortunately, it's like they did not buy the idea for the reasons best known to them. And I need your comment, Mr. Katumba. Do you think that will lead us anywhere? Should it raise our expectations and hopes as a country?
Actually, that is a very big stumbling block towards achieving change in the country.
The PFT?
The PFT.
Okay.
Today, what we need is not... actually, Uganda's problem cannot be solved by politicians as of today. What we need today is mostly we need a strategy that is involved by freedom fighters and not politicians. Most times politicians, they have their agenda, why they come out. Dr. Besigye and colleagues, they have been silent ever since 2016 elections. He has been silent. He has not been on board. He adamantly refused to join that bigger voice of Ugandans when they came out with that political wave of people power. It wasn't a political party. It was just a political wave during that time, which does not discriminate anybody.
That was at the preamble stage, but later it had to, we had statements like, you're either for us or you're not.
If he came out he came out with those strategies, PFT and red card during that time, it would make a very big meaning. But coming out today, after after what happened actually during the elections, the one who won the elections was not declared. The one who was declared actually is the one who didn't win the elections, who didn't win the election. During this time, what we need is a strategy that combines all of us as a country or as Ugandans, not based on a political agenda or any political party agenda. PFT, I don't have any problem with the PFT. But
the moment you say it is a stumbling block, you already have a problem with it because you want to see change happening.
Yeah. PFT, when Dr. Besigye came out with the PFT, I was expecting.
No, it is not true. Can I give him some
No,
information?
let him finish.
I was expecting that strategy or that policy to be overtaken by the youth.
By the?
Youth.
The youth?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he has seen how influential they are towards the politics of the country. But when I saw Dr. Besigye, I saw Mukaku, I saw Mabike, I saw, and many others, as you mentioned them, they have been in different, political groups. Talk about the Sobe, talk about DP Bloc, Gudu DP, Badi DP, talk about UID, to mention but a few. They are the ones who are also advocating for this, for PFT. So what do you expect from them? If they failed to advocate for a change through the political groups they have been actually heading, so what about this time? So this is, I see it as something that that creates divisions amongst ourselves. And this gives a chance to the dictator to cling in power more. Like now you see Dr. Besigye is actually traversing the country freely, organizing retreats, organizing workshops freely without being even disturbed. But just remember what happened to Honorable Kyagulanyi wherever he goes. So what is the essence of that? If one opposition leader is given a chance and another one is not given a chance. So I see there is a hidden agenda in the PFT and the red card of it. There is that hidden agenda, and also so many people, so many Ugandans today, they have a doubt in Dr. Besigye and his group. They have a doubt in some of the politicians, and those are the leading agents within for the PFT and the red card. So you cannot rule out that doubt from Ugandans. So that is why I said it's like a stumbling block towards change, achieving change and democracy in our country.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Katumba, and I want to immediately cross over to Mr. Kyamundu. You've heard whatever Mr. Katumba says. He's not fully convinced that the PFT can lead this country to the promised land. And you are among the drivers of this PFT thing. Please give us more light.
One, you introduced Mr. Katumba as an investigative journalist with an analytical thing. There is that description as you gave him, but I doubt now. Because if he was an investigative journalist, he would know that Dr. Besigye did not start PFT. Actually, Dr. Besigye was co-opted. Now, I want to tell the viewers what happened in the formative stages. After the 2021 elections, when Mr. Museveni stole the elections, there was a calling of saying, let's push Mr. Museveni. Let's exert pressure on him. But the people who would lead that did not do anything. Actually, they went mute up to today. Now,
who are the people who do that?
Honorable Kyagulanyi led us. And by the way, Justice Forum, the party I speak to, we endorsed Mr. Kyagulanyi as our
presidential
candidate.
You were excited?
Yes. We thought we would push Mr. Museveni out of power through an election. Now, after an election, there was no plan. Like the topic we were discussing, that our aim or our focus now is pushing Mr. Museveni out. So after the election, we failed to do it in an election, and some people went mute. They said, we are defeated. let Mr. Museveni continue. We said no, because for us we've been in this struggle since Museveni came to power. By the way, some of us in 1996, JEEMA opposed Mr. Museveni. We told Ugandans Mr. Museveni was bad when everyone was singing praises for him. We said no, we must do something. We tried to talk to our fellows whom we have a similar agenda of pushing Mr. Museveni. We talked to NUP, Anti, all the political forces in the opposition. We were engaging. We had internal engagements.
I think I'd love to read this comment before you proceed. Who are the implementers of the strategy if they are not politicians? Anyway, this guy who is the freedom fighter. Oh no, let me read this one. So what you are saying is that all opposition leaders should be harassed. Is your plan to change power really? Is that your plan to change? While Besigye was doing campaigns, your leaders in the NUP were busy marrying and vacationing. You shouldn't be in the opposition even. Mr. Abddala Tiff, did you...
Actually, no, I don't want to discuss blackmail, because that is blackmail. I want to stay focused. But I was explaining to our viewers how we came with PFT. We engaged the Honorable Kyagulanyi and the Secretary General. The Secretary General of JEEMA and some appointed people were also in this. So we discussed until the time when we were about to launch. I think Mr. Kyagulanyi told us he consulted. By the way, still I have a message of Mr. Kyagulanyi that he sent when he was going to South Africa. A week we launched PFT. He said he had to consult the wide membership of his party. And the wide membership. Wide membership of his party. And they said we should first consult more. By the way, they haven't said they are not joining PFT. No. But because I think Mr. Kyagulanyi feared social media and whatever. You know that. Because he was fully engaged. So Mr. Katumba would have gotten this information if he was an investigative journalist. He claims to be. That
no, he doesn't claim. He is.
He is.
Yes.
Okay, that information is given to him. That Mr. Kyagulanyi was in the formative stages of PFT. Honorable Mao's group, they were in the process. And by the way, I don't want to disclose what was inside there, what kept some people away for some time, but they are not saying they are not joining. Now about Dr. Besigye, Dr. Besigye had reservations for elections, participating in elections since 2016. He said he won an election and he was not declared. He even had the evidence. He was taken to court that he committed treason by swearing himself. He said, I admit I swore myself as a president and I have evidence. That case was not tried. Instead, the DPP...
It naturally died.
No, the DPP said they withdrew the case and he knew recently. He told us he knew recently. So he said he's not participating in elections. And up to now, myself and many others have bought into Dr. Besigye's...
You participated in 2016 March in the West?
No. Yeah, 2016 I participated. But now, as we speak now, I also buy into Dr. Besigye's...
You were also rigged?
Analysis. I was not rigged. Okay. But I believe we cannot push Mr. Museveni away through an election. Because everyone has tested it. We tested it. JEEMA tested it in 1996 and 2001. Dr. Semugere did. Dr. Besigye has done. The Honorable Kyagulanyi has tested that we cannot win Mr. Museveni using ballot papers. Now, if people claim now that, you see, when Besigye convenes a workshop, he's not tear gassed, so there is a hidden agenda. I saw Honorable Kyagulanyi in Eastern. He had successful meetings with his NUP leadership there. He had successful meetings. He was tear gassed on the streets, but the meetings took place. I think Mr. Katumba knows that. So I don't want to go into blackmail, because that blackmail makes us lose focus. You see, the reason we are not defeating Mr. Museveni is people who fight for leadership, always wanting to be on top. By the way, these people that believe in Honorable Kyagulanyi, what they are saying today, it was said by FDC, and I keep on reminding them that the arrogance these new people have, you heard it yesterday. Actually, I was with one of the honorables in this city. They were saying, you see, we have 60 MPs. I told him it's a non-issue. That is bogus. If you want to defeat a dictatorship, what will you do with the 60 MPs in a parliament of 529? You cannot do anything.
Well,
so, if we have to defeat the junta, we have to get united. And actually, we started. JEEMA is the convener of PFT. We are the conveners. We started this. We co-opted everyone. And until the last minute, some people pulled out. Dr. Besigye was not willing to lead PFT. We had to plead to him, please, Doctor, you a fighter, come in this. Yeah? It's you that told us we cannot defeat the junta with elections. Let us try to sensitize the masses about civil disobedience. Help us lead this. And, by the way, let me go on record. PFT today, Honorable Kyagulanyi, if he's interested, and his people, they are interested in seeing Honorable Kyagulanyi the leader, let him come and lead PFT. Because we want to get rid of the junta. We are not interested in positions, small things. We want to get rid of the junta such that we free this country.
Mr. Katumba, something is burning you. Yes.
My point is, it's true, Dr. Besigye won 2016 elections. And that is why, since then, he has been quiet.
Not true.
He has not been active
actually,
in politics,
he
actually.
The people's government. He formed the
yes,
people's government.
Yes.
After 2016
so
after
my point,
he saw himself.
My point is, if actually Dr. Besigye knew that we cannot actually change, we cannot get rid of Museveni through the ballot paper, he would have joined us actively. He would have joined Ugandans actively before even the elections. You remember, when Honorable Kyagulanyi formed People Power, one of the people he contacted is Dr. Besigye and other political players in the country. And actually, he had a very big hope in Dr. Besigye. Just imagine if at all Dr. Kiza Besigye joined Honorable Kyagulanyi during that time, before even the elections, what would happen? We would be speaking another language today, actually. But waiting after the elections, because we knew how things are going to be. We knew the tactics he has been, Museveni has been using
Katumba,
ever since.
Let me chip in.
If he came with something like PFT or a red card before the elections, I think it would make meaning more than today.
Mr. Katumba, if you look at the performance of Mr. Kyagulanyi, and then we try to compare it to the Besigye's performance of 2016, which one was better, according to you? Actually,
the difference this time today, 2021 elections, there was a massive participation of Ugandans compared to 2016.
Okay.
And when you compare the performance of the two, you can say 2021, Honorable Kyagulanyi performed a little bit better than 2016.
Not true.
According to me.
Not true.
According to me.
Now, according to the Electoral Commission statistics,
leave alone the number of votes.
No, this is the only thing we can rely on.
Yes,
because
but
at the moment,
I'm looking at the influence.
No.
Firstly,
there is no way. I don't know what parameters you're using to measure.
We can rely on the votes.
Mr. Katumba.
Because that is the statistics we have.
Now, if you're looking at the votes, now let me help our viewers. Mr. Kyagulanyi got 35.08 in 2021. Yes? In 2016, Besigye got 35.61.
What is the difference between the two?
Of course, there is a difference.
I know. What is the percentage? Percentage-wise?
The other one got 35.06.
35.06.
6. 1. That is Besigye 2016.
16.
Kyagulanyi got 35.08.
2021.
Yes.
Yes. You can rely on the statistics, but you look at the influence. You look at the environment. The environment.
But it has been the same environment way from 2016.
Yes.
It has not been a really smooth environment for all political actors.
It has not been smooth.
Actually, you also shied away from running. You're supposed to run for is it?
But Mr. Latif, I think we are losing focus.
No, we are not losing
focus.
We are not losing
Actually,
focus.
what we are doing here, the Lord Mayor recently compared it with the prisoners fighting amongst themselves who should be the caretaker of a prison. So that is what we are doing. You know, people pride in
actually the best way we have to what we have to do as Ugandans.
Yes.
Whether it is PFT, whether it is FTC, whether it is NOP, whether it is DP or any other party, as long as you're a political player, this is the time we come as one. We come together.
I like that.
This is the time. Because 2016, after the elections, Dr. Besigye formed People's Government.
Don't contradict yourself, eh?
Said he did nothing.
2016,
okay.
That is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Dr. Besigye formed People's Government, which seems not to be inclusive, or so many people did not participate, which they did not participate, and actually which they did not recognize.
Okay.
If we recognize, if we joined Dr. Besigye 2016, after that, during in the people's government, actually, at the time we reach to the next elections, there would be a difference. One time I was talking to my colleagues, and then I told them, what if Honorable Kyagulanyi joined Dr. Besigye right from the beginning? In 2017, you remember that is when he came for Chadondo East. What if he joined Dr. Besigye in the People's Government, and he came under People's Government? Would it be a different environment today? So that togetherness of politicians, that is the only way that we have to take. But if I come out with my policy,
the politicians, because if you listen to Honorable Kyagulanyi, he says we should unite. Yes, but when there are those internal efforts to see that these people work together, it actually doesn't happen. I've been keenly listening to both of you. You said Kyagulanyi went to Kizza Besigye when they formed the people power.
Yes.
And when Besigye is speaking, he tells us, let's unite. When Kyagulanyi speaks, he says, let's unite. He was telling us among the people that he contacted was Kyagulanyi, that please come and
join us.
Come and join us.
Yes.
And he shied out. He maybe he didn't buy the agenda. Now,
No. By the way, Honorable Kyagulanyi was fully embracing PFT.
Okay.
In the formative stages.
Okay.
But along the way, he said when he consulted the wider leadership, they said let's keep engaging. Let's keep engaging.
You engage them?
Yes, please.
Are you engaging them? Are you keeping them?
And by the way, the official position of NUP, they don't have any problems with the PFT.
But
they are having reservations saying, you see, we still have some issues we are handling, like we still have our supporters in prisons and whatever, but at a certain time we will join. That is their position.
I think we need to open our lines to our audience.
But I think I need to correct some impressions here. One, what we have failed to do as opposition, frankly speaking, what he is blaming Dr. Besigye, we have not done. Like, for instance, for us, we supported Amama Mbabazi as JEEMA in 2016.
JEEMA, you fought everyone who comes.
No. JEEMA, we are focused on the ball, by the way. We are focused on the ball.
Whoever dances to your tune.
No. By the way, it is Dr. Besigye who formed the TDA.
Yes.
He's the one who sold the idea of TDA to us. When we reached there, I don't know what he read, and he pulled out of it. But for us,
he says he was hijacked.
Yes, no, he was.
I had just an agenda.
Hijacked from there by his party and taken away. But for us, for us, we always follow a principle. We don't. If principles contradict with the interests, for us we put interests aside and we follow principle. That is JEEMA. We shall always. Now the principle is unity. We are on fighting the dictatorship. So whoever comes with a plan, we shall follow suit.
Well, before we proceed,
what I wanted to say is that we didn't support Dr. Besigye. So we went to Bujiri. Dr. Besigye also didn't support us. So
when you say we didn't support Dr. Besigye, when?
In 2016, we didn't support Dr. Besigye as Justice Forum.
Okay.
And many other, the DP and many other forces. So Dr. Besigye ran and his FDC.
Okay.
Then in 2018, let's meet 2017, Honorable Kyagulanyi went and competed with the Honorable Cantint of FDC, who had just been unfairly removed from Parliament. We said nothing.
So where was your stand?
When we were in Bujiri, we had no stand, by the way, to be frank, in Chadondo East.
Oh, you supported Muwada?
No way, we didn't as a party. We didn't support any candidate. Then in 2018, forces teamed to support Honorable Basaria because they had participated in the struggle. And FDC supported their own.
Namatende.
By the way, the people power is talking about. People power was a slogan of Asumani Basario in Bujiri. So after Bujiri, the word continued. People power, our power. It continued. So I was also involved in people power.
Abantu?
Amani. Now, Dr. Besigye, what he's saying is unfair. That Dr. Besigye did not then come to join Honorable Kyagulanyi. I'm privy to the information that even as elections were ending, Dr. Besigye invited General Tumukunde, General Muntu, Honorable Kyagulanyi, and Amuriat, and told them, you're not going to win Museveni. What you're going through, I've been through it. The best thing to do is to resign and leave this.
Pull off the race.
Pull off the race. Pull off the race, cause some confusion, such that maybe Museveni can come on table and you can talk transition. But when you go in his processes, you're just going to legitimize the processes. I am privy to that information. But people, egos were driving people. They thought, we can turn around this. They went, and the same things like they've been happening since 1996. It was the same story. They happened again. And after the elections, Museveni declared himself, started bragging, and we are here. Now we are telling those who are coming out with the plans of sensitizing people to try an alternative method other than election, because PFT is not an election platform.
Okay.
We are not about to join elections. Even if we are to join, elections are happening 5 years. In 5 years to come, we are in 2001. If they will happen, they will happen in 2026. And now people are saying, you should not say anything. You let the man rule. Don't say anything to him. The likes of Katumba, because they think what we are doing might jeopardize what they are supporting.
Well, let's open the studio lines. You can give us a call on 0789 17145. Or if you're using Airtel, you can call us on 0759 132 310. Yes, call us and you tell us where you're coming from, where you're watching the show from, and then you also share your opinion with us. Well, I want to cross to Mr. Katumba. The leading opposition party at the moment is the National Unity Platform. what activity have you put on ground since the 2021 elections to really create an impression that maybe there is need to, to keep on track, to have things change politically?
Actually, to be frank with you, NOP haven't yet done enough of activities since elections.
No, if you say they have not done enough, it means something has been done. What have they done?
Apart from
If
the
there
issue,
is any-
apart from the issue of sensitization, sensitizing the masses or sensitizing Ugandans about real change, fundamental change, they have not yet carried out visible direct activities, actually aiming at creating influence for politics in Uganda since the elections. That is a space we are still having, and it's a very big problem. And that is why we are seeing strategies of like Ready Card and others, because for them they are claiming you are doing nothing. It's like you have given a leeway to the dictator to lead us for these 5 years.
Okay.
That is why we have come out. NOP has to come out to come back on board, and because politics is all about persistence. So if you don't persist, you cannot even achieve anything. That is why you see Dr. Kizza Besigye has persisted since 2001 until 2016. He has been active in politics. So what we had to do after the elections, actually.
Hello.
Someone on the line. Hello.
Yes, hello. Norman here. Good afternoon. Good evening, Chief. And the guest, Gerald and Kyamundu. I have keenly followed your discussion, and I have a few things to contribute as a citizen which is concerned, especially in regards to multi-partyism in this country. And I wanted to begin by defining an ideology, because in regards to what Mr. Kyamundu was discussing, most of the political parties here lack an ideology. And indeed, an ideology is a system of ideas or ideals. So meaning there should be some ideas, but also ideals, those ideas that you intend to put in practice. If you look at most of the political parties in this country, are formed as a result of either anger or greed. No Baganda would say, how could it be? So and so has taken over. I can also make mine. And I will not make so many political parties. You know, the breakups, no, there is this party, then here there is another party, and then it will also become a party head like that. So basically, most of these political parties are based on either anger or lack of ideology. As in, you sit in a political party, you find that only 10 people of that political party have an idea of their ideology. To be honest, I am sure as they follow tonight, and this is with due respect to the NOP and so many others in Parliament. If you paraded all the MPs of NOP or even any other political party and ask them, what is your ideology? They tell you, Museveni has must go. That's the ideology. Museveni must go. So you wonder whether that is sustainable. And so as long as that isn't educated to young people, even young people for now, like Kyamundu said, so many have joined NRM because their parents are NRM. People have joined DP because their parents are DP. And so it is to any other political parties. Finally, Museveni himself wasn't prepared for multipartyism. Because you see, political parties had been banned in 1980. Imagine all of these years up to 2005. All of those years, people had been hoodwinked and believed in the movement as a system. You get? So even us young people, we did not get, in fact for me, it was ideal that we have civic education about political parties for a minimum period of like 5 years. But do you know how much time we got? It was simply in the campaigns of referendum. Is it a dove? Or you remember that campaign? We did not get enough time to be educated about political parties. A the reason why you will find this today having 100 votes on a certain polling station and his MOP gets 200, but they are all, I mean, both of them on the same political party. You wonder why we would have faces of individuals in the ballot and thereafter also have the symbol of the political party. Meaning someone comes and tell you like, oh, okay, so and so has like a good face, they vote you because of your face. And then your boss as a presidential candidate gets less votes, a parliamentary candidate gets more votes. So there is a lot of confusion. Moving forward, there is a need for the likes of Kyamundu and others who subscribe to political parties to do more civic education so that we all of us join you because of your ideology, not simply because this is a Protestant party, this is a party for young people who are very annoyed. Before, I mean, if we do not do that, I can assure you we shall continue having so many waves.
Mr. Norman.
Yes, please.
Do you think the minds of Ugandans are ready to accommodate politics of ideology?
I think it's a yes and a no. Chief and colleagues in the show, it will take time. It will take time. The question now should be to Kyamundu, are they willing to inject in this much time? Or like Uganda would say, it is a we. And you know, you voted me, I'm honorable, and you vote as honorable Owawa in Uganda. Who's honorable? Because you were excited and just speaking for. I mean, there is a lot to be done, a lot. It can even take 100 years of changing the mindset of Ugandans. Otherwise, we shall continue voting individuals because I can assure you that's why they will say FDCRS, NRM ya Museveni, ANC ya Muntu, Nupian ya Kyagulanyi. It doesn't work. Guys, Kyamundu, you have out to do you guys as political party heads. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Norman. Thanks for following the show. Norman says that most of our political parties here, they are formed out of either one is angry with the system, of course there are those with greed, and then there is lack of ideology. Well, I think I need to read through some comments here on Facebook. This Roger Tuyahave says, isn't that a contradiction? Museveni is not a problem to this country. And then Museveni has killed all institutions. I think it's Mr. Katumba who said this. You said Museveni, actually I also noted it somewhere. You said Museveni is not a problem. But again, you went ahead and said Museveni has killed all the institutions. So he's like, what is your point? Nabukera Teddy is really concerned. Mr. Abddala Tiff, did you just call Museveni a darling? That word has then lost meaning. If he is a darling to anyone in Uganda, not even Kataha Janet, I'm sure. Hey, that is a strong word, Nabukera. Well, this one said, who are the implementers of the strategies? If they are not politicians, this guy, he laughed. Who is the freedom fighter? You want another version of Museveni? Well, then this one says, so what you're saying is that all opposition leaders should, okay, well, I read this before. Then this one was Kyaguba Katongo Robert, NRM man. Yes, Nabukera, President Museveni is that way. Kyaguba Katongo Robert, okay, so, okay, well. Then there is, this one says, Mr. Katumba, Museveni can, Mr. Katumba, Museveni can never stop being a Ugandan's problem. It's our problem, and he will forever be, because the system you are talking about, it's his system. He runs it and he prefers it like that. Then Kyaguba Katongole man said, hey, Kyaguba Katongole NRM man said, the problem is mindset change, not President Museveni. Mr. Katumba, did you know President Museveni yesterday was in Tanzania educating them how growth and development can be attained? You have a nice cake and again you're looking for bread. Kyaguba. Well, this time, Bwana Norman, you're positive about the ideology, and indeed, I think this one has just responded to the call. Then this is Mr. Blessa Hassan. Greetings, I'm Hassan. Anybody who wished to join politics basing on the ideology should only join JEEMA Uganda to be mentored. Well, that's what I could read for now. There are over 30 comments here, but I may not be able to read all of them. I want to start with Mr. Katumba, I think.
Museveni is not a problem. Maybe there is one word I skipped or I forgot to mention.
Please mention it.
That as of today, Museveni is not the major problem that we have in Uganda as a country. That means he has been a problem for so many years. But as of today, we are having some other bigger problems than Museveni. Like I told you, ousting him is very simple.
It's not.
Leaving power is very simple. But those who come after him, holding that power, keeping that power,
I think the better way to phrase it, it would be easier if Mr. Museveni is ousted, but then how do you keep yourself and, you know, keep the country moving?
That is it. That is the
because the system you are talking about, they were instituted by Mr. Museveni himself, and purposely to keep him in the system.
And he has used, actually he has used some of us. So we are looking at Mr. Museveni only, but there are others whom we actually have to look at.
Okay.
So he's a problem, but he's not a major problem that we are having today.
Well, Mr. Kyamundu,
those others he has instituted within the institutions.
Would you want to comment anything on Norman's
Actually, I wasn't getting him well.
But I picked something I could share with you.
Yeah, but I think he was very elaborate about an ideology. And in Uganda, very few parties have that. But Mr. Katumba, the Baganda would say, awe mudde. To say that Museveni is not the problem now. You tell Ugandans that Museveni is Uganda's #1 problem. And the moment he goes, by the way, if Museveni today, tonight, if he says, I'm no longer president, things will work out themselves. Ugandans will drink the bars empty.
You will
tonight.
drink bars empty, but it will be the same system.
Wait. No, by the way, let me
what
tell
we
you.
need, actually, as a country?
No, let me tell you. Ugandans, why is their major problem? They will dance themselves, they will celebrate. You see, there was a rumor circulated by one Olumbuye that Museveni is dead. He died of COVID. You saw social media, what was on social media, to the extent that the system came out and said, whoever repeats that the president
Some people were arrested.
Some people were arrested. But Ugandans were jubilating even on a rumor. Now if Mr. Museveni,
someone on the line.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
Ssentongo Michael.
Yes, Ssentongo Michael.
Yes, Mr. Gerald says that Museveni is not the problem, but this indicates that it shows that nobody is working for Museveni. Because if you say that Museveni is not the problem, yet for most of us are aware that Museveni is a junta, is a dictator, then nobody is working for Museveni.